Here's our 5-hour energy rapid recap of the first half of today's race. Biggest mover, the 5-hour energy car. Steve Wallace started at the back because of an engine change. He's up into the top 20.
Yeah, he's looking good right now. Just trying to get himself from the back to the front, just like you said. That's going to you have to keep pedaling that baby, because that 22 car you see on the right-hand side, he has been flat flying.
Danica Patrick started this race, got lapped in the first run of the race, then on the first pit stop had a speeding penalty, and because of that now finds herself pretty well back in the field. Patrick running in 33rd spot, 3 laps down to the race leader now. Kevin Harvick, one of the pre-race favorites.
Kevin had a tough time on pit road as well. You see the gas can and the gas man both got stuck in the race car there, had to come back down pit road for a penalty, put him back in deep in the field.
New car blues, perhaps.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And Kevin back in 18th position after the pass-through penalty. While all that's been going on, what's been going on has been that guy in that white 22 Challenger. Brad Keselowski has an 11.4-second lead on second place Paul Menard.
He's just out there kind of toting around right now. That hot rod is flying. They evidently hit on something, he and Chad Walter, and they have got it figured out a lot better than everyone else does right now. They are gone.
And I correct my error. Danica's penalty was the blend line penalty, not the speeding penalty. Either way, it was the pass-through.
Yeah.
And didn't help anything, that's for sure. All right, let's take you up to speed now. We've got 18 cars on the lead lap. You've seen the first 5 run through the frame. How about 6th place on back, Michael?
And, of course, that's Carl Edwards in that 6th position. If you're wondering how much of an advantage it is, having an alliance with a Sprint Cup Series team, well, consider this. The chassis of that 60 car is a former Cup car from the Roush stables that they ran back in 2008. In fact, they've come here with a set of notes that were used by the 17 team. They've been working off of those, trying to set up that race car, and also picking the brain of Carl Edwards, crew chief on the Cup side, Bob Osborne, trying to get the car dialed in.
Mike, as we look back at the 20 car of Joey Logano, we mentioned at the beginning of the day, this weekend has been a struggle for them. Listen to what he had to report on the radio.
Got it backsliding now. Definitely freer. I wouldn't want to tighten it up, but I'm a little bit on the free side. No speed, though. This is the best the car's been since we got here, really.
The good news, guys, is that it's the best it's been all weekend long, the best so far. But I bet they'll make some more adjustments on this caution flag period.
Our first caution of the day, we had a car smoking on the racetrack, and they're worried about oil being down there. And the
like
word
Chase
is,
Austin.
Yeah, Chase is the unfortunate victim in this case, as he is coasting on down the backstretch. And there you can see some of the smoke. I think the engine has been shut off, shall we say?
Yeah, it might be smoking, but that front end of that thing still looks cool, doesn't it? They've done such a great job with these nationwide cars.
Well, the Aaron's lucky dog will go to the 66 of Stephen Wallace. He is in 19th position. It'll give us, as we say, 19 on the lead lap. Let's also report that we now have Ryan Newman behind the wall, and then Shepard, Keselowski, Brian Keselowski, Cope, Wise, Eflin, LePage, Allen out of this race. So that big 11-second lead that Brad Keselowski had built up has vanished in our first caution here. And we were talking about how long the green flag was. This is the longest green flag stretch to start a race since 2000, when we went 73 laps. See everybody getting loaded up for the second round of pit stops.
I bet a lot of them have those wedge wrenches out ready to start spinning some jack screws on these cars and making some changes.
Yeah, it'd be their first real chance to do that. Even though they made that green flag stop, you don't want to take up too much time on that. So they'll be making a pretty good sized swing at it here now.
Last pits ranged from lap 35 for somebody like Ryan Truex all the way through lap 39 for Paul Menard.
Well, one thing that happens on a caution, you can actually interrogate the driver more detail and find out really more what the car is doing. That helps the crew chief make that decision on what kind of changes to make. When they're out there under green, it's really hard to do that because they'll lose time while they're trying to, talk to the driver.
Pit road is closed by NASCAR. The 43 has, there you see on the right side of your screen, it's basically just coasted to a stop there. And so now they're going to have to get him out of the way before they can open.
Yeah, that would create a big mess if they open pit road. Everybody's coming, so don't want to have a log jam right there at the entrance.
Yeah, I tell you what, somebody's been impressive today, a number of these young guys, but we watched Trevor Bayne drive his way up into that third spot. He really is doing a great job with this car here. really looked like running some of the faster times. Maybe not quite as fast on the get-go as what Brad Keselowski, but in that case, nobody else was either. But made a nice run here to the front. We just see more and more as this young man gets more experience, see him become more competitive.
Yeah, now Paul Menard's able to erase that deficit he had. He had a pretty fast car, so he might be able to challenge Keselowski for this lead.
Well, make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear's Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver. You can enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus or other great prizes. We mentioned right before the last commercial break how Kevin Harvick was at that time the last car on the lead lap. He was in 18th position, a full 43 seconds behind, and this is a huge opportunity for these guys to get back into the race as well.
Well, what happened was Kevin didn't have the car that he thought he was going to have in the beginning of the race, but he did find something at the end of that long green flag run. He had moved up the track and made up a lot of time. Looked like he was ready to kind of maybe challenge some of these guys for the top spots, but then they made that mistake on pit road.
Yeah, big break for that. And Andy, and you pointed out, I don't think he was full of fuel, so they were probably going to have to come in early too.
Yeah, his pass-through penalty was on lap number 43, and we are working on lap 64. So as they come down pit road, let's send it out to Vince Welch early.
Well, waiting on the 38 of Jason Leffler, who's had a good run today. He's been running in the top 5. He comes into his pit box running 4th, but he didn't like that last set of tires. He said he felt like maybe even had a tire going down, developed a vibration. They're going to pump up the air pressure in the left rear. 4 new Goodyears and Sunoco fuel for the 38. Doc?
Ryan Truex up 1 round on the track bar. They're taking to be very, very deliberate. Now, when the jack goes down on the right side, put the car back in gear, in first gear, and rev the throttle. Mike.
Last round of pit stops, the 98 team took a ½ pound out of the left front tire, and it helped the cars so much. They're making no serious changes here, just 4 tires and fuel, Dave.
The leader's car is balanced very good. The clutch is very bad. He didn't trust it, and it fails him. Clutch problems for the leader, Brad Keselowski, and he gives it up on pit road.
As we check out the Nationwide Insurance race off pit road, you can see how it has cost everybody and helped others. Logano picks up 3, Leffler dropped 2, and you saw Ryan Truex's crew with a really great stop. They basically held station from where they came in.
Well, we see the race off. Looked like Keselowski to the line was 2nd, but we'll see where they line him up. He lost a lot of momentum off pit road.
Well, we'll wait for NASCAR to make the call. There you can see him sort of pulling back up behind Paul Menard. So the bit of a hiccup looks like it's only going to cost him the 1 spot, but it's going to set up. And let's take a look as we show you again exactly how this unfolds. There's Menard in the yellow in the further back area, and then the very first car is Keselowski.
You see Menard just finishing up, pulls out of his pit stall. Looks like he's going to be free and clear coming down. And even the 99 car gets out with a good stop. But Keselowski just doesn't get going. Looks like he lost a little more than a spot or 2, though.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, because you're right, from that angle, although that's not the dead straight on angle, it looked like he could have been about 4th or 5th coming off that line. But again, it's where the timing line is, not necessarily where, you know, some of the painted lines that we see out there. There's about 3 of them out there. Vince, what's the latest on 18?
Well, Kyle Busch, as we've been documenting throughout the course of this race, has been having trouble with that splitter on the front end. They came in to raise the front end earlier. Now they're looking at possibly changing the splitter. So they changed the front, the right side tires. They're also going to change the lefts on this one, but it's been a tough go so far here at Michigan for Kyle Busch.